Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, NEGRO leads alert, right? You know what I mean by that is, fighters of color, it's a totally different league than the other fighters. And it just shows its head all the time. Here's an example of what I mean, right? The WBA, that's one of the sanctioning bodies. WBC is another sanctioning body. We have problems with the sanctioning bodies all the time. I thought the WBA was dormant or dead or something, because they weren't active. The WBA came out maybe, when was that? Maybe 2 or 3 days ago when they said, hey, Edgar Berlanga, who just had a win over last weekend, right? He's the WBA interim or the mandatory or, the number one, right? But, he's not the mandatory for Canelo Alvarez because he became the mandatory, the number one. He's the mandatory for the WBA regular champion, David Morrell Jr., right? But David Morrell Jr. has been Canelo Alvarez's mandatory for over 2 years. And they haven't been active. They haven't forced Canelo to fight him, right? So Edgar Berlanga was talking about Canelo. So, they said, well, he has to fight David Morrell. So they're active. David Morrell has to fight Morrell, but Morrell doesn't get an opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo won't get stripped of his title, right? Just won't. But the WBA is active. The undisputed champion of 154 pounds, Jermell Charlo, who, if you're undisputed, you're a legend, period, because he got it the right way. He wasn't given a title. So Jermell Charlo was stripped by the WBO by going up to fight Canelo 2 weight divisions. No one was viewing that as daring to be great, like they would say when Canelo goes up in weight, right? He got stripped by the WBO. Instead of them saying, hey, Tim Chu, he's going up to fight a significant fight, just hold up a little bit, you're first right after that fight. No, they stripped him. Now, since that fight, Jermell Charlo is dragging his feet a bit, but he's stripped of all the titles, which means we can strip people. Now, Canelo Alvarez, I keep having to mention him, he's not getting stripped for not fighting David Benavidez for the WBC title, right? Benavidez been his mandatory for 2 years. So neither from David Benavidez won't get stripped for the WBC. The WBA won't strip him for not fighting David Morrell. Those are 2 excellent fighters, 2 lucrative fights, just won't happen. Canelo has did everything in his power. He's even offered David Benavidez one time $5 million to fight him. Now, Jermell Charlo got $10 million. But he's going to fight your boy, ask $5 million. And you know what? David Benavidez said, yeah. Just like Deontay Wilder did to Anthony Joshua back in the day. Say yeah when they didn't think he would. And then they said no anyway. This is what's going on, man. That was the NEGRO leagues. As soon as a brother don't fight, he don't get the opportunity. And here's another question, since you don't believe me when I say NEGRO leagues. I've told you how these Mexicans become mandatories and just won't fight the champion if they're hard. And I give you examples every single time because I'm just saying, like Jaime Munguia wouldn't fight Demetrius Andrade when he was his mandatory 2 years. He wouldn't fight Jermell Charlo when he was his mandatory damn near 2 years. Ryan Garcia wouldn't fight Devin Haney when he was his mandatory. Canelo Alvarez wouldn't fight Demetrius Andrade at 154 when he was his mandatory. That's just mandatories. We've had elimination fights that, some Mexicans say no to. Isaac Cruz wouldn't fight Shakur Stevenson, just wouldn't. Still going to get a lucrative fight. Jose Ramirez wouldn't fight Regis Prograis, right? Stuff like that. So that happens. It's a different league. So I'm going to ask the question again for those who just think, he's always talking about this. Name me a black fighter. I've been asking this, about half a year now? I don't know of it happening. A black mandatory who did not want to fight the champion. And then he was enabled. Then he didn't do it. If you find one, he doesn't do it, and then he's heralded as better than the guy he won't fight. Just answer that. Find one. Do your research, because I don't know one. I don't watch every damn thing. I got other sports to watch. Man, I just got through watching Erling Haaland, right? the striker for Manchester City, scored 5 goals. And that was in a just a one of them what do you call it? One of them games where it's not in the league, right? But where you play, I think it was a 3rd division team, but scored 5 goals. Erling Haaland is the bomb, right? You can watch some stuff like that. He's just ridiculous. I watch whatever, right? But I'm just saying, in this sport, or whatever we're going to call this, of boxing, has a black guy been the mandatory and refused to fight the champion? Right? Find that out. But in the meantime, the WBA is active when it comes to Jermell Charlo, but won't say a damn thing to Canelo. That's what I mean about BTBG. That's what I mean about Negro Leagues. It's a different league. So wake the hell up. The WBA, if they going to strip Jermell Charlo, then hey, when Canelo fights whoever he's going to fight, because I told you they called me up, on May the 4th, and it ain't David Morrell, then he's supposed to get stripped. If it ain't David Benavidez, then he's supposed to get stripped. David Benavidez, unfortunately, trying to go up to fight a hard fight in Alexander Gluchik, because he's just like, I can't sit around and keep waiting on this dude. I don't know why he won't sue the WBC. These guys, the corruption is right in your face. But because of things that are going on in politics that happen right in your face, everybody's feeling, like they can just do stuff right in your face, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it right in your face. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm out of here, y'all.